Hi, here are two exercises that you can add to your practice routine to improve your animation. Firstly, drawing from reference. Here's why it's helpful. As you learn and study drawing forms and volume and interpreting the figure through that lens, you start to think about drawing in a three-dimensional sense. This will help you to understand and think about a pose in 3D, and this is especially important when you are animating in 3D in a 3D package. Here is what you need to get started. Reference to draw from. Can be a subject in real life or a figure in an image. You will also need drawing materials, paper and pencil or Wacom or tablet. I use an iPad and stylus. And time. This one is very important. Set aside some time each day or week for your practice and be patient with your progress. Getting better takes time. Sometimes weeks, sometimes months, and sometimes even years. But if you put in the time, you will get better. Here is the objective. From your reference, draw your figure. You can do timed or untimed practices, but I try to go beyond just gesture drawings. I try to think in terms of forms and volumes and how the figure exists in a 3D space. Doing this exercise helps you to understand poses in 3D, and this will help you to make better poses when animating. So I'm not going to teach you how to do figure drawing or drawing from reference because there are a lot of great teachers out there and there are a lot of great resources online. Here are some of the resources that I find useful myself. Firstly, we have Proco TV. This is a great resource for learning the building blocks of figure drawing. It's great for learning anatomy and drawing forms and volumes. There are lots of tutorials, live streams, guest speakers, and in-depth tutorials for figure drawing, all for free. Next is New Masters Academy. So this is another great resource, but what I really like is their figure drawing references. There are a lot of different timed references, clothed and unclothed references, and a whole bunch of different actors as well. So I use this site quite a lot for my references for figure drawing. Finally, there's Love Live Drawing. This page talks about the practical ways of approaching your figure drawing, and it's a great one to delve into. So in terms of reference, you can always use live drawing, but if you don't have access to live drawing sessions, there are other resources such as online images, sports footages, breakdown of live action clips. You can draw faces, you can draw hand poses, you can even draw animals. All of this will help you with your animation. Second exercise is posing from reference. Essentially what it is you have a reference and you recreate that pose onto a rig in 3D. Here's why it's helpful. You are testing your understanding of how that pose works and looks in 3D, not just from one angle, but from all other angles as well. Secondly, this exercise is directly related to animating from reference. So in animation, a lot of the times we have a reference of an action that we want to translate into 3D. We copy out the key poses from this reference and we make it work in 3D, and this is exactly what we're doing here. Lastly, when you do this exercise with character rigs of different proportions, you learn how to interpret a pose and recreate that pose onto a character that may be different proportionally to your reference. And this is also important in animation because not all the time you get a character which is exactly the same in terms of proportion to how your reference is. Here's what you need to get started. Reference to pose from. Can be a subject in real life or figure in an image. You will need a 3D package of your choice. You can use Maya, 3D Max, Blender, or Unreal. And you will also need a rigged character which you will be posing with. I will link a resource to this in the description below. Again, time. Set aside some time to work on this exercise and make it a regular thing. Keep working at it and you will see improvements in your animation. Here is the objective. From your reference, interpret the pose and recreate it using your rigged character. You are not trying to copy the pose exactly, but interpret how your character would embody the pose. Proportions may not match up between your character and the reference, and that's okay. Importantly, check your pose from all angles to make sure that it looks correct, in balance, and appealing. So here's how to get started. Firstly, have a reference pose ready. This one is from New Masters Academy. Have your rig ready in your 3D package. Create a camera and pose using this camera. Focus on the camera view, but pay attention to the pose in other views as well. You don't have to set a time limit. Take as much time as you like. You will get faster the more you practice. Remember that you're not trying to copy the pose exactly, and sometimes you can't due to different rig proportions or rig constraints. What you're trying to do is capture the essence of the pose. Imagine that your character is holding the pose. How is his torso twisting or bending? Is he balanced? What are his limbs doing? What is the angle on his head, shoulders, and hips? These are small clues that will help you to pose better. Finally, check from all angles. Poses are the foundation for animation. So once you are able to create good and appealing three-dimensional poses, you're halfway there. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.